Order up! Welcome to a brand new episode of the Order Up Podcast. Of course, I am Taryn Williams. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast. And on this episode, I am talking about the new Mortal Kombat animated movie that just came out, Mortal Kombat Legends, Scorpion's Revenge. And just right off the bat, it's so good. Like, definitely check it out. Definitely, if you're a longtime Mortal Kombat fan, if you just like the games, if you like the old 90s movie that came out, if you like the old Mortal Kombat cartoon or some of the old Mortal Kombat TV shows, wherever you are in the Mortal Kombat like pantheon of stuff, this animated movie is kind of a love letter to you. It's so good. And the movie mixes a lot of different things, a lot of different stories. It puts them all together and to make sense, you know. So the movie, I guess I could say spoiler alert, but like if you know the Mortal Kombat story, this isn't really a spoiler per se. But I'm gonna say spoiler alert. I'm gonna put spoiler alert in the title of this podcast, just so we're clear. But if you know Mortal Kombat, this isn't really a spoiler. It's just more of how did they depict these events that happen. And so the movie starts off with Hanzo. Don't know Hanzo, Scorpion. He starts off with him and his son, and he's kind of teaching his son like about scorpions and how strong they are. They go back to the village. They get attacked by the Lin Kuei, which of course the Sub-Zero's clan. So they go into the village. The Shirai Ryu, which is Scorpion's clan, they're all killed. So they're running around, trying to avoid them, and then they end up getting to, I guess, their place, their house. His wife's dead. A bunch of Lin Kuei, ninjas are there. Scorpion just goes ballistic, and you really get this. You start seeing the art style of the fight, the art style of the movie, the fight scenes where there's actually like X-ray attacks. It's gory, like it's rated R. It is bloody as hell. It's gory as hell. Like if you're not into gore and blood, don't watch this movie. But if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you appreciate it's over the top blood. Like it's over the top violence. It's crazy. When he cuts somebody in the head, you can see like their brain. Like they put so much detail into the animation. It's insane. But it's Mortal Kombat, so it fits. It's so gory. Like at first, it's like a little shocking, but after you get through like that fight scene, you're kind of like, okay, you're calibrated for it. Because at first it's kind of shocking, but eventually you get calibrated for it. So he fights a bunch of ninjas. It's a really dope fight scene, and then he gets to Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero freezes him, has his son. He holds. He has his son in his hand, freezes the son to death, breaks his back, and then kills Scorpion, or kills Hanzo. So this is before Hanzo becomes Scorpion, but he kills his son, kills him, and that's kind of where the movie starts. And then the movie kind of has the more traditional Mortal Kombat start, where you see Liu Kang in the temple. Raiden grabs him, out the temple, which is very, I mean, I don't think there was a temple, but of course, like Raiden and Liu Kang know what's up. They know about the Mortal Kombat tournament. They know about Earthrealm, what's at stake, things like that. And then, Raiden, Lord Raiden, they talk to Liu Kang, kind of feels him. Oh yeah, we gotta go, meet up with the other, I forget the other warriors. Then you see, I think Johnny's next. I think you cut Johnny or something. I forget who, like what order to go in, but you see Johnny, like Johnny's at his like beach home or whatever. Some chick's leaving. Johnny's place is a mess. Whatever. He gets a phone call. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'll do it. Whatever." You flip to Sonya, who's in a street fight, in the alley, just fighting some guy. And you get to see like her back. You get like these little glimpses of everyone's backstory without getting like the full in-depth backstory, which is kind of nice because kind of like you might know who these characters are. So here's like a little bit about them, and of course, as the movie goes on, you learn more about them as it goes on. Excuse me. And then you see Sonya, she's fighting some guy, and like an illegal street fight. She starts having flashbacks to when she joined like the army and how everybody thought she was gonna be a princess, and she was so delicate, and everybody kept underestimating her. So she ends up beating this guy's ass. She gets like the scroll from the Mortal Kombat tournament. She talks to whoever the guy is, like, oh, he's gonna be there. And if he's not, like she told the guy, she's like basically like, and if he's not there, I'm gonna beat your ass. But like she keeps saying he, but if you know the lore, she's talking about Kano. If you don't know, she's talking about Kano because they have like a long history. And so yeah, you kind of meet, you meet your initial. So you meet the squad basically separately. You flashback to another realm. And I love what they did. I just love what they did with Scorpion because they made Scorpion human. Like in all other Mortal Kombat kind of avenues, especially early on, Scorpion was just a ninja. He's just the yellow ninja. He just fought. Then like in the Mortal Kombat movie, the first movie, he was just kind of like one of Shang Tsung's like lackeys. Like he didn't really have any character. He was just like, I just fight, whatever. You couldn't talk to him. He just, he just was kind of there. In this movie, in Scorpion's Revenge, he's an actual person. He has a conscience. He has, he has layers because he was a father and a husband. He lost all of that, So you cut to him in hell, about to be tortured. He fights out of that. He fights out of that. He fights like 100 something demons. Gets up to Quan Chi. Quan Chi is like, "Who are you?" He's like, "I'm the guy that just killed all these demons." He's like, "Oh, okay." They talk, and Quan Chi gives him the plan of, "Hey, if you get this key for me to unlock Shinnok, he can actually, make you human again, make your family, alive again, do all this stuff. If you, become my minion and fight Mortal Kombat for me." And then, of course, he's like, okay. He's like, "Oh, like, what's your name?" And, of course, he goes, "Hanzo is dead. But Scorpion, I'm Scorpion." So it's really cool. And I like just kind of tied his name to the early moment with his son. Like, they just did a lot of character building with Scorpion, which is really nice because you just don't get that in any other Mortal Kombat medium. And then, of course, you flip back to, them on the boat, Liu Kang, Sonya, Johnny almost misses the boat, but he gets up there. He runs along the, jumps, gets on the boat, has the, of course, he's the movie star guy. He thinks, this is all fake and special effects. He's kind of like, whatever. Like, Liu Kang knows it's real. Raiden, of course, knows it's real. And Sonya kind of sort of believes. She's kind of like, I'm kind of here for Kano, but she like, she understands it, but she's also kind of like, whatever at the same time. And Sonya's a hard ass. I love all the character designs, just how they look. They look like action figures. They look very, people might say they look too bulky, but whatever. I mean, Mortal Kombat is hyper realistic as is. So why not make them look like, kind of like action figures? That's what they look. They look like toys. They look like really cool statues. Like, I love Liu Kang's design, where like his black and red is really dope. Raiden looks really just hardcore, but he's really like nice and noble. He just has a very stern look on his face. So he's, of course, a military hard ass. Which they modeled her after her MKX and MK11 designs. You can kind of tell because she has like her military, like her wrist gauntlets that she shoots out the beams with, which is from MKX. So she doesn't like shoot out a fireball from her hand that she did in the old school like game, which is kind of cool. But it's kind of like just a brief story, and then you kind of know how Mortal Kombat goes. They get to the island. And I love some of the little Easter eggs in the island. Like when you get to the main like mesh hall, you see like a lot of the combatants. They're actually, some guys are doing like an arm wrestling match. Somebody's arm gets broken off. Two people are doing test your might, which was so cool. They're like testing their mights against like a steel anvil, punching it. Like it's just all the little, like just the little details. There are probably some other things in there that I don't see. They use like X-ray attacks where like everyone, like, when someone breaks someone's arm, they do like the X-ray zoom in from from Mortal Kombat 9 and MKX, and of course the finish or the fatal blows from MK11. So it's just really nice to see them incorporating these things into the movie. So nice. Of course, you get like, and then you kind of see Scorpion's like submission where he's trying to get the key, and he gets there, he sees it, and Raiden sees him. He's like, "Dude, you don't have to do this. There's another way." And Scorpion doesn't take the key. He just kind of goes, okay. And then you fast forward, you see Jax versus Goro. Goro rips off Jax's arms, like brutal. Like I almost couldn't watch it. I watched it, but it's just brutal. You're like, damn. So you see that. You see Kano taunting Sonya. Shang Tsung breaks everybody up. So where Johnny Cage fights Baraka, Liu Kang ends up fighting Katana. And then Sonya fights Reptile, and Reptile has his I want to say his MK9, MKX design, because he's not like the Green Ninja. I would have loved if they did the Green Ninja Reptile, but that's kind of cool. They just got his more reptilian look, which is fine. I'm not going to knock it too much. But Sonya does her fatal blow from MKX in that fight, and she does her brutality where she takes her wire, gets his head, and rips his head off. I was like, oh, and then she blows him a kiss. it was so good. It's so good. And then Johnny fights. Well, he doesn't really fight Baraka. He kind of runs away from Baraka from the whole fight because he's not really fighting yet. He's still like his. Of course, he has his character development where it's like I like Johnny. Like Johnny Cage is the goofball actor person, but it's just like he frustrates. He makes you laugh and he frustrates you at the same time because you're like, bro, you're so good. Do some cool shit. Like we know you got it. But he ends up he kind of like outsmarts Baraka and runs away because the building ends up collapsing and he lands in this tree. And Johnny actually goes, Toasty, which is, of course, the classic Mortal Kombat reference from the old games, which is really dope. And then Liu Kang fights Katana. Katana does like all her moves. Like she does like the wind move where she, puts you in like a little mini tornado and you spin in the air. She does like all her little moves. And of course, like Liu Kang doesn't necessarily go easy on her, but he just doesn't like puts it all into it. And they end up fighting, and he has her down, and he's like, "I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna kill a worthy competitor. That's not what I'm here for." And they talk, and Katana's like, "Well, you say you have what other people don't have." And he's like, "I have hope." And she kind of like, "Oh, okay." I yield. So she yields. Everyone gets to the next round. This cool moment where they meet in the jungle, and they end up like trying to find camp for for a couple hours. They run into Scorpion, who's just destroying some black dragon like mercenary. He's just killing them, and everybody's getting ready to fight. Liu Kang's like, I got him, stand back. Sonya's like, nah, bro, I can fight. Like, why, do this? Scorpion's like, it's whatever. But then Johnny kind of is the voice of reason, like, hey, no one said Mortal Kombat. We don't have to kill each other. We can kind of hang out. They're all like, yeah, you're true. And it's just dope because Scorpion is with them for like maybe 10 minutes, maybe. He's like sitting around the campfire and talking and discussing things with them, which is so dope because old Scorpion would have just been throwing hands. So it was just a nice seeing him be, he's like a vengeful spirit. He's like, all right, he has reasoning. He understands, like pros and cons. These guys ain't doing anything to me. I'm not gonna do anything to them, but if they throw hands, I'm gonna throw hands with them. Like it's just really nice to see Scorpion as that character, and not just be fight guy. Like, I'm just gonna fight everybody. I'm just gonna fight because I just need to fight. Because fight. No, he has depth. He has layers. He understands. Like he's conflicted because he wants the revenge, but he also knows like He doesn't trust Quan Chi, which is really nice because you shouldn't trust Quan Chi. I also like that. I just love that they added that Quan Chi story because that's something that they added later on. Like I know in like some of the later games they finally added that Quan Chi is the person who like manipulates Scorpion into doing all this stuff and blah blah blah. And I'm cool that they added that layer into this movie. So good. And so they ended up fighting. So they ended up breaking up. Scorpion's like, I'm gonna bounce. So everyone else kind of leaves. They get to this little spot. They're surrounded by about 20 black dragons, mercenaries. Kano's in like a building, like ha ha ha, I got you surrounded, whatever. And because Scorpion kills the guy, and so you don't see him, and then all you look because Liu Kang's like, be ready, and Johnny's like, for what? So they go back to back, and Liu Kang looks over and he notices one of the guards drops down, and it's Scorpion. He sees Scorpion's spear, and Liu Kang just smiles and he just goes, be ready, and Johnny's like, for what? And Scorpion just goes ham. He just throws a spear into three guys' head, pulls all their heads off, wrapped like it's crazy. Like, oh my god, it's so gory. It's beautifully gory because it's so well done and it's so well spoken. Because it's what Mortal Kombat. It's like what you always think Mortal Kombat should be. And then everybody just goes ham. Like everybody just goes crazy. Everybody's fighting. Liu Kang busts out the bicycle kick. Sonya does some stuff. Johnny still isn't fighting, which is really funny because he still doesn't fight. But everybody's fighting. Everybody's doing their thing. Liu Kang actually, I think it's his his X-ray attack or his finishing blow from Mortal Kombat X where he lights his fist on fire and gives him an uppercut. He does that in the movie. I'm like, oh shit! Like I'm just like, But if they did Liu Kang's old fatality where he drops an arcade machine on somebody, if they put that in the movie, they might be saving that for the next one, which I hope they do. But that was dope. They fight all the black dragon mercenaries. Excuse me. And then Scorpion, or Sub-Zero appears like on the roof next to Kano, like dude, like you're disgracing this tournament. And Scorpion loses it. He teleports up there, and him and Sub-Zero start going at it. And then they keep fighting, and Scorpion like starts cutting them up, saying like, "This is for my wife, this is for my son." And they jump off the edge of this building. It's basically a stage fatality. Fall down, spikes them into the ground, or into like one of the big spikes, killing both of them at the moment. And it's just dope. Like, it's just gory. Like, it's just good. And so Kano ends up running away with Jax. So Sonya goes to follow Kano to try to get Jax. Johnny ends up following Sonya because that's where he's gonna go. And then Liu Kang, of course, heads toward the inner temple to fight Goro in the finals. Dope fight scene. Johnny finally actually fights after Sonya gets beat. She's beaten up pretty badly by Motaro and his minions, and Johnny finally starts fighting. He does the split nut kick, or he does the nut punch, that he's famous for. He does some of his other stuff too, which is nice. And then she's like, "What? You can't fight." So they start fighting together, and they go back to back. It's just a really nice moment. Really good fight scene. And then you flip into Liu Kang fighting Goro. Liu Kang's giving him some go. He does like an EX bicycle kick where he light his feet on. Oh, it's so good. He does like an EX bicycle kick. He does like 3 of them in succession. His feet are on fire. It's so nice. And then and you come to find out, but then Goro gets the upper hand. Shang Tsung tells Quan Chi, "Hey bro, go get the goblets, we're gonna celebrate to our master." I'm like, "I bet." Quan Chi goes in, gets some poison, puts one in the goblets. He's gonna try to poison Shang Tsung. I'm gonna try to, because he really serves Shinnok, really. But he's just trying to do what he can to get there. And so they're fighting. So Goro ends up getting the upper hand on Liu Kang. And they're fighting, and Goro ends up. So actually, before any of that, Shang Tsung knows that the goblet has poison, pours it out, grabs Quan Chi. He's like, "Bro, what's wrong with you?" Puts him in like this magic binding, and then Goro is like, "Guys, Liu Kang's getting his ass kicked right now." Goro has all 4 of his arms on Liu Kang's all 4 appendages, and is ripping Liu Kang in half. Sucks. And you can see they show like the x-ray of Liu Kang's like ligaments breaking. It hurts. Like, he's crying in pain. Rain can't do anything. It's nuts. And then out of nowhere, here comes Scorpion, who's back from the dead. Quan Chi's like, "Oh, you're back. I knew you were strong." And so Scorpion's kind of like, whatever. And then Scorpion spears Goro and pulls his skull out of his face. It's it's insane. Like, they've already done some insane stuff in this movie. That is insane to me, because you see like his flesh is just on the outside, just hanging, and his skull is it's crazy. But since Scorpion not beat Goro, Scorpion's technically the champion. And Shang Tsung was like, "Hey," or Scorpion's just like, "I just want Quan Chi. I don't want nothing else to do with this bullshit. I just want Quan Chi." And then Shang Tsung's like, "Okay, well, you are technically the champion. How about this? You kill Liu Kang, my master, Shao Kahn can grant you what you need, and we can call this, this is a done deal." And, of course, Raiden and Liu Kang both like, revenge isn't the answer. You have to do revenge. And Scorpion's like, "All right." So they kind of, Scorpion squares up, Liu Kang squares up, and, Raiden's like, "There's a different way. There's more, he has more options." And Scorpion's like, "All right, true that." So he jumps in the air, teleport. He does like his Hellfire teleport. Teleports, gets behind Shang Tsung, puts his spear to him, like, "Give me the key." And Shang Tsung's like, "What?" And he's like, "Liu Kang, I yield." And I was like, "Oh, that's so crazy," because one of the things about Mortal Kombat is, if you don't know, Liu Kang has won like 3 or 4 Mortal Kombat tournaments. No one really explains how, but he's legit won 4. He's won a bunch of Mortal Kombat tournaments. And you think, how? Because like in the stories, they've changed canon and things like that. But I like what they did in that movie, because that's so dope that he yields it. Scorpion's like, "Nah, Liu Kang, I yield. So he's technically the champion of Earthrealm. So that's one in his. So that's already one in his notch. So Liu Kang gets his first one. Just by technicality or whatever. But that's one. And I was like, that's so smart. That's a very smart way of doing it, especially if they want to do multiple uh versions of these, which I hope they do. It's a very good way of starting that off. So so um so Scorpion yields, Liu Kang and Raiden are leading, and then Shang Tsung's like, so Shang Tsung drops the key. He lets go of Quan Chi. Shang Tsung dips. He's like, oh, my master's going to have his revenge or whatever. And then Scorpion and Quan Chi go at it. It's a really good boss fight. I like that that's the end. Like, that's basically the last fight in the movie, which makes sense. It's Scorpion's revenge. Let Scorpion get the last kind of fight. Great fight. But the ending is very dope. Because if you know Scorpion, you already know what he did. You probably already know what Scorpion did. He did his classic fatality, ripped Quan Chi's head off in his spine, did the classic Scorpion fatality, and then he burned his body with Hellfire. He took the mask off, burned his body. Two of Scorpion's classic fatalities, of course, is what they end the movie on in terms of fight scenes. Very dope. Scorpion just stays in the building falls. Of course, our heroes are on the boat, leaving, heading back to Earthrealm. And Liu Kang's like, damn, Lord Raiden, I failed. And Raiden's like, no, your destiny was never to be Goro. Your destiny is to be Shao Kahn. And I'm like, oh, please, I hope they make another one. I hope they make two. I hope they make a second one because it's well deserved. And that's basically how the movie ends. Then you see Shao Kahn and Shang Tsung talking. Shang Tsung's like, I'm sorry. Shao Kahn's like, you failed me. You suck, basically. Get on my level. He's like, fine, I guess I'm gonna have to do this myself, Basically, he did the end boss saying of all, first games. Oh, well, you failed. I guess I gotta handle this myself. I'll lock Thanos. And so that's how the movie ends. I hope they do a second one. They ended it in such a good place where they can build on it and you can get a second one. And so far, we haven't had that many deaths. Like, we've only had the first Sub-Zero die, Reptile die. There could be another Reptile, who knows? But Sub-Zero's dead, Reptile's dead, Baraka's maybe dead, but there's more of that, his clan. So, maybe. Well, it might not have been Baraka. It might have been someone else from his clan. Kano got beat up. Jax has to get his cybernetic arms. We haven't seen the Cyber Ninjas yet. You haven't seen Smoke. You haven't seen Rain. You haven't seen, the second Sub-Zero. Scorpion's probably not dead because you know how that rolls. So yeah, I just hope they build on it. And I hope to do another one. Excuse me, that just keeps going because that was such a good way to end it. So far on Rotten Tomatoes, the movie has 100%, which I think is out of just 8, reviews, but it's 100%. Has a 7.5 on IMDb. I think it's kind of low. It deserves a 9. It's good. It's really good. It's believable. Everyone. It feels like Mortal Kombat, which I think is what they knocked out of the park with this. So this is my review of Mortal Kombat Legends, Scorpion's Revenge. I give it a 9 out of 10, easy. 4.5 out of 5. Of course, there's some stuff they can improve on, things like that. But it doesn't patronize you. If you don't know Mortal Kombat, it's it teaches you Mortal Kombat, but then if you already know, it kind of just leaves you, it gives you those things too. So it's really nice. It's a nice balance of, if you're new, it teaches you. If you're not new, here's some cool Easter eggs that only you will understand. And that's really nice. But it did a really good job. I just hope they make more. I hope DC Entertainment makes more of them. Fingers crossed. Hope NetherRealm and Ed Boon, they keep, be creative consultants on it. I hope it does well because I really think we need another one. It's so good. It's just so good. And the fighting games are so underrepresented in other mediums. So this is a good start that maybe if this does well, maybe we can get a Street Fighter animated remake. Who knows? Anyway, thank you so much for checking out this brand new episode of the Order Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast so far. It's been a lot of fun to make and to do. Always, you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Of course, the website, www.SlicingDicingGaming.com for all things digital chef. For now, and always, slicing, dicing, gaming. It's not just a motto, it's a lifestyle. I'll see you next podcast. Later.